My wife left me for her boss 7 years ago. Well, guess what? Now she's back, trying to crawl back into my life, and this is what she has to say about it. I bumped into my ex-wife on my first blind date, and she made a very strange comment about wanting to keep in touch. Imagine seeing the person who broke your heart more than 7 years ago when you are on your first blind date. That's what happened to me today. Now I'm stuck in a moral dilemma because I like my date. It's just a pity that she's staying with my ex-wife. Out of all the things that could have gone wrong tonight, this is one of them. How did my ex-wife end up on this side of the world anyways? Was she not supposed to be on some beach, sipping a martini with her rich husband? I'll keep wondering because there's no time for me to ask questions due to the drama that happened this evening. It all started when my nieces set me up with her teacher. She and my sister Violet are the ones who came up with the bright idea that I need to date again. To be honest, I've been feeling a bit lonely. I come home from work, microwave some food with Chef Mike, watch TV, and sleep. Sometimes I spend time with my sister and her family. They live a couple blocks away from, me, and they're the only family that I have on this side of the country. I moved here at the end of my marriage because I could not deal with being in the same city as my ex-wife. I stopped talking to everyone in that town, including my friends, and it turned out that everybody knew that she was having an affair with her boss. Well, except for me. I never questioned her when she had to work late or when she had to go out of town. I did not question her when she started to change her hairstyle all the time. I was the perfect devout husband, and she thanked me for getting caught with her boss at work. The person who caught them took pictures, and well, it circulated about. Those pictures were sent to me as I was about to do a very important surgery, could you imagine? At the time, I was doing my residency at the local hospital. It was one of the most important surgeries and was rumored to be able to improve my chances of getting a permanent residency at the end of the year. One of the nurses showed me the picture right before I was about to do the surgery. I snapped at her and asked her if she could not have waited. When I'm doing my job, I just want my mind to be crystal clear. I didn't want to be thinking about my personal life and surgery, and she ruined my focus. I was doing the surgery and I was unable to think about anything else except my wife and her boss. The more I thought about it, the more I wanted to be sick. How could she cheat on me with such an old man? In addition to that, she got caught and now everybody knew about it. I had to leave the room for a while and I had someone else step in for me. Normally, it would not have been allowed, but the head surgeon seemed to have also seen the pictures that were circulating, and I got home to find her packing. I asked her why she was packing, and she said that she knew that I was going to leave her. Well, I told her instincts are correct. I was going to leave her. She told me that she wanted to be with her boss, and I was gutted. But I let her go. I gave her a divorce. But in said divorce, I made sure that I got the whole house, and did not have to pay her any sort of alimony. She was not even respectful enough to wait a couple months to get married. She got married the day after our divorce was finalized, and since we were at the stage of bitter exes, she even sent pictures to me and my family. My mom, who suffers from high blood pressure, saw the pictures and got so upset that she became hospitalized. Maureen was not kind at all to me. She made sure that I knew that she was happier since her boss had made more money than me. I decided that I needed to cut my losses and get out of there. I did not have anything left, not even my dignity, and luckily, it was the end of my residency at the hospital. I spoke to my sister. She invited me to come and stay with her, and I've been staying with her for the past 7 years. I have not dated, I've only focused on work and family. But then my sister and her daughter noticed that I was lonely. So they kind of tricked me into a blind date. Well, to be honest, the date went well. Lucy was on time, very good looking, and funny. I was happy in the company of a woman for the first time in a long time. She said that she could not drive and was going to take a cab to her place, but I offered to drive her home. There was the promise of a second date as well, and I could not wait to get home and tell those meddling ladies that they had been right. When we got there, she invited me in for some coffee. I like coffee, so I could not say no. We had some coffee and talked some more, and things got a bit, well, so to say, steamy. The door of the house opened and we jumped away from each other, and I was a bit startled because she did not tell me that she lived with somebody. I asked if she was expecting someone, and she said it's most likely her roommate, whom had come back home, and she asked if I wanted to say hi, and I figured that there's no harm in saying hello. There I stood face to face with the ghost of my past. I asked her what she was doing here, and she said that she lived here. Then she looked between me and Lucy. Her face turned a very bright shade of red, and she said that she was sorry to interrupt and would leave. But I could not just let her leave. How was she staying here when the last time I saw her, she had just gotten married? Then there was poor Lucy, standing there unsure about what the heck's going on. She broke her silence and asked if we've dated before, and I told her that this was my ex-wife from 7 years ago. Let us just say that she did not take it well. First shocked, and then she turned red and told me that I need to leave. She told me that this was clearly a very bad idea, and I was still in shock, so I decided to leave. There was nothing much that I could do since she did not want me there. I had not even been home for more than 5 minutes before Maureen sent me a text. She told me that she did not know what had been happening to me and Lucy, but I left my jacket at their house. That's when I realized that, indeed, I did not have my lucky jacket. That annoyed me to no end, and I asked if I could come back and get it. She told me that she could bring it to me if I told her where I was staying. I told her that I didn't want to see her, and I would much rather get it from Lucy. As for Lucy, she's not been responding to my messages since what happened tonight. I really do like her. Unfortunately, I have such rotten luck because she stays with my ex-wife. I wonder how they ended up staying together. Maybe Lucy rents a room from Maureen and her husband. Either way, this has complicated whatever's going on with me and Lucy. She's ghosted me, and I think it's safe to assume that she does not want to talk to me. But now that the only problem is that I need that jacket. It's my lucky jacket, and without it, I don't feel secure. My father bought it for me when I got my job this side, and it reminds me of him because it was the last gift that he bought me. Now he's bedridden and in a home because he's at the end of stages of a heart disease. Even the doctors cannot do anything for him. Months ago, he decided to go against their advice that he should seek medical treatment. I need to get that jacket. But Lucy is not talking to me. The only person who's still talking to me is Maureen. Do I risk it and ask her for my jacket, or should I just let go of it, even though it's important to me? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So this story does have multiple updates, and, well, OP's about to discover more than his missing jacket. The next update came out 2.5 months later. If you guys want to support the channel, go ahead, click that subscribe button for daily videos. Here's your first update. Maureen and I are back together. Yeah, it's not a joke. The past few months have been a roller coaster, to say the least. She is, however, back in my arms, and I think that we might be able to give this another shot. I know that it's the most unexpected thing ever. This was not the tone that I had the last time I posted, but it appeared that things were not really what they seemed. After I left the jacket there, Lucy kept on ignoring me, so I then visited her at school when I was fetching my niece, and I explained to her the best that I could of what happened. She told me that Maureen and she had met on a retreat a couple years ago and became friends. When Maureen was going through her divorce, she asked Lucy for a place to stay. So she moved all the way across the country to stay here, far away from her ex. It appeared that her ex had gotten mad. He had replaced her with a younger woman while his company slowly failed. Seeing this opportunity and not wanting to be left with nothing, Maureen and his brother plotted a hostile takeover. They succeeded and his brother became the new CEO of the company. However, he felt that he had no need for Maureen, so he fired her. She then got divorced from her husband and did not even notice that he had nothing left. As soon as they got divorced, she moved here and moved in with Lucy. She got a job and has been staying here for several weeks. Somehow, I've not encountered her in all this time. I told Lucy that I was serious about her and really wanted to make things work with her. That was when she dropped a bombshell on me. She told me that she went out on a date with me because she wanted to make Violet and her daughter happy. The truth was that she was very confused about her own feelings. She had just come out of a relationship and was considering going back to her ex. She thought she was ready, but now she was not sure about me, so she asked if we could hit a pause on the whole thing. I'll admit that I was devastated because I saw some potential with her. But I had to respect her choice and her wishes. Even if we did start something, it would be complicated because she's friends with my ex. I felt like she was also implying that she had to adhere to the girl code. I admire a woman like her with ethics, so I decided to stop pursuing her romantically, much to my sister's disappointment. That evening, I had dinner with Violet and her daughter Camille. She sometimes cooks at my house, and we have dinner. She cooks more than enough so that I have food for the rest of the week. As we were having dinner, there was a knock on the door. She went to open it, and while I talked to Camille, who was asking me questions related to medicine, the next thing I knew, there was shouting at the door, so I got up to see what the commotion was and landed in a heated argument between my sister and my ex. Violet asked Maureen why she had not listened to her warning and backed off. I asked my sister what she meant, and she had a very guilty expression on her face when she looked at me. Maureen said in a very defensive tone that she had been staying away, but I ended up on a date with her roommate, and Violet then asked if that was the reason Lucy and I did not have work. Well, then they started quarreling again. I asked them to stop as I did not want to repeat of the last time. The last time those two spoke, my sister had nearly given Maureen a free nose job. So I asked Maureen what she needed, and then she gave me my jacket. She said that she was sorry for bothering us, and then she left. Later that night, she sent me a message apologizing about what went down with her and my sister, and it turned out that my sister saw her in town way before I did and told her to stay away from me. The Maureen that I was talking to sounded different. She seemed more humble and less pretentious. She was also very sorry about how things ended between us, and we started to speak all the time. The calls turned into text as we talked about our past and resolved it. She amazed me with how much that she had grown. She was now so different yet the same, and in due time, things started to become serious and neither of us could deny it. I guess a person always goes back to the scene of the crime. I know that she cheated on me, but she's not the same person anymore. She's now more appreciative of what she has. She's now very attentive with me and has reminded me why I fell for her again. So last night I asked her if she wanted to try this again, and we were going to keep it on the down low though. I don't want my family to know yet, and I need to be certain that this will work, and that I will not be left on the sidelines again. You must think that I'm a fool for forgiving her, and I'll let you know what my mom always told me. We're always in a constant state of practice, always improving, and failure is not really a real thing, so we're going to practice this and just work hard at it because not everyone gets this second chance at love. Update number 2. So far, the relationship's been going well. We've just hit a slight snag, and she's told me that she cannot stay with Lucy anymore because Lucy is selling the house. She wants to downsize and start a business, and she came to me today, and she appeared very distressed. She told me that she was going to try to look for a place, but the apartments here are very expensive, and she's not back on her feet yet. I don't want her to be in this situation, but there's nothing that I can do. My sister still does not know that we're back together, and I don't know how, but we've managed to keep our relationship a secret for the past 7 months. We've been taking it really slow and just getting to know each other more. I'll admit that there were trust issues at the beginning, but she's proven on her own that she's genuine. Tonight we had dinner, and it was her first sleepover at my home. All went well, but there's something she said which I'm a bit disturbed by. Right as we were about to fall asleep, She said that she missed being with me and wished that we were still married.
Does this mean that she wants to get married again?
Surely I just heard wrong since I was already drifting to sleep. Update number 3. This is not a drill. She's just told me that she meant what she said the other night. She doesn't want us to be a secret any longer. She doesn't want us to be apart anymore, and she feels that we don't have much time left. Maybe we should get married. To be honest, she proposed to me earlier today, and she told me that she wanted to spend the rest of her life with me. And I know that I love her, but I don't know if I want to go down that route again. On the other hand, I want to be with her all the time. I want to come home to a home-cooked meal when I get home from work, and maybe I also want us to have kids together and have them run around our backyard. It feels like the gap over the past 7 years has closed and nothing's changed. But what will I say to my parents, my family? It'll be a big thing if we get married, but it feels so natural to think about it. I told her that I was going to think on it, and I hope that I make the right choice. I'm at a crossroads, and I really don't want to make the wrong choice. If I do, I don't know how I'm going to be able to live with myself. Now, I wish I had dated in the 7 years that we were apart. I did date once, but circumstances led to our breakup, and I don't know. Update number 4. You can say, "I told you so." I will not even be mad about it. Look up the word clown in the dictionary, and I assure you that you're going to find a picture of me right next to the word. How could I have been this dumb to think that she would change? After she asked me if I wanted to get married to her, I thought about it for a while. I decided to come clean to my sister and tell her what's been going on. I know that she does not like Maureen, but she also gives good advice. She was flabbergasted when I told her that I was back with Maureen and had managed to keep this from her for more than half a year. She told me that she thought I was smarter than this, and when I told her that I was considering getting married to her again, she lost it. She screamed really loudly out of frustration, and then she left me sitting in the living room and headed to the balcony. I watched her pace, sit down, stand up, pace again. I saw her look like she was about to punch something. It was a good thing that Maureen was not present, because I had a feeling that was, well, who she was picturing when she threw an ashtray to the ground. My sister has clear anger issues, and she's learned to control them over the years. The outbursts are less now, and she only reacts to really serious stuff. She would never lose it with her daughter. In fact, ever since she gave birth to Camille, she's been a lot more calm. So this was a unique situation caused by the news. She came back and told me that she did not like this idea. She needed time to think, and she told me to leave. After how heated things have been with Violet, I need some calm. I had an off day, so at least I did not have to go to work until early the next morning, and I bought us some lunch from a food truck and then headed to her apartment. She managed to find a place at last. It was a beautiful apartment, spacious, affordable, from what she told me. When I got there, she was just coming back from work, and I warmed up our food and we just talked. I told her how the situation with my sister was. I told her that Violet would come around, but right now she was not happy about it. She said that explained why my sister's been calling her and texting her to stop. When I saw the messages that my sister was sending her, I became furious. She had no respect for Maureen as well. I did not get why she was so mad when she was not the one that Maureen hurt. That pushed me to ask Maureen to marry me within 2 weeks, and we got a few witnesses and the family was optional. What was the point in waiting when we both loved each other? She was so happy that I agreed on the marriage. The next morning, I woke up early so that I could bathe and go to work, and I needed something in her medicine drawer as I realized that I had a terrible headache. We had overindulged a bit too much wine the night before. As I was searching through her medicine cabinet, something fell out, and it opened onto a page with her name on it, so I picked it up for some further examination. I was puzzled by what I found. She's been at the hospital a couple months ago, and there's no useful information, but then I noticed the page had been torn out. I put it back and did not put it much to mind, but For some strange reason, something bugged me about the document I found. What was written there was related to pregnancy, but how could she be pregnant she didn't even show? I figured that I was just making things up in my head and did not think about it. And 2 days later, my sister invited the two of us for dinner. Dinner was a disaster. She and Maureen did not get along, and in addition, my sister told my parents about my remarrying before I got the chance, so I had to deal with their calls when I got home. I was so tired and in no mood for their judgment. For the first time in months, I slowed myself down and wondered what I was doing. Was it really worth alienating my parents over? Was it really, as I was filled with these doubts, the date of the wedding neared? My sister told me that she was going to come and be a witness even if she was against it. And that's what I love about her. Even if she does not agree with my choices, she supports me. I sent some invitations to a couple of friends, and Maureen does not really have a friend in this city. The only person I could think of was Lucy. Since she was on good terms with Lucy, and as far as I know, I sent her an invitation. I hoped that she would be able to make it. 2 days before the wedding, I get a response from Lucy, a response that made my blood run cold. She told me that she could not believe that I was marrying that snake. She told me that I've escaped once, so why was I trapping myself again? Basically, she told me that she would not be making it. That's when I thought about the document I found the previous week. I had not confronted Maureen. I was afraid to. I sent an email pleading with Lucy to tell me what happened with her and my fiancé, and I also sent her a picture of the document I took last week and asked if she knew anything about it.
Her response was so prompt.
She told me that she was free to call that night, and I was on a call with her for 3 hours. After those 3 hours, my life as I knew it had changed. Nothing was real anymore. It appeared that Lucy did like me, and had told her friend that she wanted to pursue a relationship with me. But Maureen was not having it, and she told her to stay away from me because I was bad news. A few days later, Lucy found out that Maureen had gone to get, rid of the baby she's been carrying since she arrived. She was afraid that the baby's custody would go to her ex-husband, and she had barely managed to get her 3 other kids into her mother's custody. I told her to pause right then.
She had 3 kids, and she didn't tell me.
You have to understand that I had a serious conversation with her about this, and I asked her if she had any kids, and she told me that she and her ex had never had any kids. Now to find out that she had kids, but she had shipped them off to her mom was something else. When Lucy found out what she was doing, which she did not agree with, she told her that she needed to leave.
Maureen was already upset that she had told her to stay away from me even if she liked me.
So Maureen ended up leaving, and their friendship ended. So much more happened between them, but Maureen was the one who started it. It appeared that this whole time she was pretending to be a changed person.
She has not changed.
She's still the same sneaky woman that I was once married to. What is even more eerie is that when she met me and figured that I was successful, she decides to get rid of her unborn child so that she could just trap me. It was clear that the reason why she did it. She has a good job and does not have to take care of the other 3, so what other reasons could she have? She wanted to have her cake and eat it too, since it's fallen through with her rich ex. I don't even know if I want to believe the story that she told me before. I'm very much inclined to believe that she told me that story so that she could be a damsel in distress, and I would save her. Well, tough for her because I'm not that man anymore. I'm certainly not taking care of her and her 3 kids. That is such an important detail to choose to omit. What the hell? Nah, I'm not going to have to teach her a lesson she will not forget. Update number 5. My revenge. It was swift and it was sweet. She faced what I faced when she left me, humiliation. The humiliation sticks to you and does not go away for a very long time. It's coupled with the betrayal and the heartbreak and the shock of it all, and on the day that she thought her life would change and she would become my wife again, I stood her up at the altar. When she showed up, I was nowhere to be found, and I switched my phone off because I had another appointment with Lucy. Many will say that's a jerk move, but I don't care. She stooped low those years ago, and on the day I stooped lower, While she realized that I had stood her up and she was publicly humiliated, I was having my second date with Lucy. When I asked her out on a date, she was shocked. She said I was engaged, but I told her no more. As Maureen would hear from my sister, it was over the day that she decided to lie to me. So Lucy agreed, and we went on a second date on the day that I was supposed to be getting married. It was a good date that lasted the whole day. We both had our phones switched off, and we were just living in the moment. In the end, it had to end, and I went home. I only switched my phone on in the morning, and there was only one message from her. I had expected many calls, many text messages. She said that I have done her a favor by not getting married to her. She told me that she would find somebody else who was better than her. She also added that this is what happened when she gave losers a chance. Yet, she was the one texting and calling me in the middle of the night when I was with Lucy.
She was the one insulting Lucy every chance that she could get.
From somebody who did not seem to care, she sure cared a lot. When I found out that she was leaving town, I was so relieved because at last there's going to be peace. It's funny how life works out. I thought that I had a second chance at love, but I chose the wrong person. To think that it all started with a blind date? Huh. But here I am with Lucy, and we've been together for 2 months now. While it's still the honeymoon phase, we're very happy. My sister prefers Lucy so much more than Maureen I can't even explain, and she's grateful that in a way Lucy saved me by telling the truth that's been so tactfully concealed from me. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm glad that I've put my past to bed. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. I have a pretty good feeling about it because at least Lucy is not a liar like Maureen. A lot of the commenters were saying how Maureen was getting a bit of karma, and OP and Lucy deserve each other and make a pretty good couple. I do want to know your thoughts on this one, guys, so drop your opinions down below in our comment section. This story was a wild ride, had a lot to it, and I just want to know your overall opinion. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate these sort of stories every single day. Inheritance dramas, mother-in-law disputes, cheating stories, you name it, we cover it. It all has to do with a bit of karma or drama. So guys, make sure you subscribe for daily videos. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and just remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.